Ever stand in a museum, just blown away by like a Picasso
Oh, yeah.
or a Matisse
Absolutely.
and wonder about like the story behind it, like all
Mm.
the stuff that happened to that painting before it got there?
Oh, yeah. The journey.
Today we're diving into one of those stories.
Oh, okay.
It's got ambition and scandal and twists and
It
turns.
sounds juicy.
Our subject is Dominica Guiom Walter.
Okay.
She started out with nothing and ended up one of the wealthiest women in the art world.
Wow.
But to get there,
Yeah.
suspicious deaths, family drama,
Oh.
and a deal that's going to put her in the history books.
Hmm.
But maybe not for the right reasons.
I'm intrigued.
To get to Dominica, though, we first got to talk about her first husband,
Okay.
Paul Guiom.
All right.
He wasn't just some art dealer.
No, he was a visionary, really.
Really?
Think about it.
Okay.
Early 1900s.
Yeah.
Nobody in Europe cared about African art.
Right.
But he saw something in it.
Yeah.
Like its power and influence on new movements.
Like Cubism.
It's exact.
For those listening who maybe haven't heard of that,
Yeah.
what is Cubism?
Well, it was like totally revolutionary. Broke away from all the traditional stuff. Like they use geometric shapes and fragmented forms.
Interesting.
And Guillaume was like right there at the forefront.
Mm.
Yeah. He got it before most people.
He was ahead of the curve.
Totally.
So he was into African art.
Yeah.
He understood Cubism.
Mm. What else?
Oh, he had this incredible knack for spotting talent,
Really?
like Picasso,
Oh, wow.
Derain,
Yeah.
when they were just starting out.
So he was buying their art when nobody else was.
Yep. Taking a gamble.
And it paid off.
Big time.
It's amazing to think about.
Oh.
If he hadn't been there, doing that,
Yeah.
would art history be different?
Oh, that's a great question.
I mean, are there people doing that now? The next Picasso's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But who are the Paul Guillaumes of today?
Yeah, who are they?
We should do a deep dive on that sometime. We should.
But for now,
Okay.
back to Guiom.
All right.
So he's this art world prodigy.
Yeah.
But then he meets Dominica,
Ah.
and she's really interesting.
Oh, so.
But her early life,
Yeah.
it's like a total mystery.
Oh.
She starts out as an art model,
Okay.
and she's working in a nightclub cloakroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom,
Why?
she marries Guiom.
Oh.
And suddenly she's a wealthy socialite.
That's quite the transformation.
It is.
And the funny thing is,
What?
we don't know much about her early life.
Right.
Some people think she destroyed all her personal records.
Ooh, interesting.
Like she wanted to hide her past.
Like she was running from something.
Babe.
I love that.
Yeah.
Even today,
Yeah.
people can still keep secrets.
It's true.
So anyway, she's living this fancy life
Yeah.
with Guiom.
Mm-hmm.
Big parties, affairs,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards.
Living the high life.
But then
Uh-oh.
the depression hits, and they start to feel the pinch like everyone else.
Money problems can really put a strain on things.
Especially a relationship that's already complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
And theirs was.
I mean, they both had affairs.
Yeah.
So there were definitely some tangled emotions there.
Right. And maybe some motives.
Ooh, now you're getting to the good stuff.
Because in 1934,
Yeah.
Paul Guiom dies.
Oh, no.
And it's mysterious?
What do you mean?
Well, some say natural causes,
Okay.
but the circumstances are shady. So was it really natural?
Or was there something more going on?
And unfortunately, the sources we have,
Yeah.
they don't really tell us.
Oh, so we're left hanging.
We are.
I like it.
And then a few years later,
What happens?
Dominica's friend and business partner,
Okay.
Margaret Thompson Biddle,
Yeah.
she dies suddenly too.
Oh, wow.
And officially,
Yeah.
it's natural causes.
Okay.
But
Always a but.
there's some strange things about it. Like her office is a mess. And a really important file is missing.
Interesting.
Makes you wonder if it's connected to Guillaume's death.
Even if we don't have proof,
Right.
the timing is definitely suspicious.
It is. And then there's Gene Walter,
Dominica's second husband.
the one and only
Yeah, how did he die?
hit and run,
Oh, wow.
which is already tragic.
Of course.
But get this,
Okay.
Dominica's lover at the time,
That's getting good.
Dr. Maurice Lauer,
Okay.
he was treating Walter for heart problems.
But at the same time as the affair.
Yep. So was it really an accident?
Or did someone plan it that way?
Right.
Given everything else going on with Dominica?
Yeah.
Hard not to be suspicious.
It's like something out of a movie.
I know, right?
But before we go full film noir,
Yeah.
we got to talk about Paulo,
Who's Paulo?
Dominica's adopted son.
Oh, okay. And what about him?
Well, even his arrival is a mystery.
What do you mean?
Some sources think he was actually Paul Guillaume's biological son.
Ooh, that adds a whole other layer to things.
It does.
So the adoption itself is kind of murky.
Totally.
And then there's how Dominica treated him.
Don't even get me started.
Okay.
This woman, who's all wealth and fancy parties,
Yeah.
made him sleep under the dining room table
What?
and wear her old clothes,
No.
like hand-me-downs.
Seriously?
Seriously.
It's awful.
It is.
Makes you wonder what was going on in her head.
Right.
It's like, why be so cruel?
It's almost like she resented him.
Yeah, like he was in her way.
And what's really interesting is her second husband.
John Walter.
Yeah. He actually tried to protect Paulo,
Really?
even though he was having an affair with Dominica.
While married to someone else?
Yep.
It's almost noble.
Right. Like he felt bad for Paulo.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just saw how messed up the whole situation was.
I mean, it's definitely complicated.
That's what makes it so fascinating, though.
I agree.
And this is just the beginning.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Buckle up.
Because Dominica's story,
Yeah.
it's about to get a lot crazier.
I can't wait.
Okay. So we're back, and we were just talking about all these strange deaths around Dominica.
Yeah, things are about to get even wilder, though.
Wilder.
Yeah. Dominica gets accused of hiring a hitman
What?
to kill Paulo,
Her own son.
her adopted son.
Still.
It's crazy, right?
Why would she do that?
Well, the theory is that she didn't want him to inherit any of her money.
Oh, so she's just going to bump him off.
Apparently.
That's cold.
It is.
I mean, I know she wasn't the nicest to him,
Yeah.
but to actually try and have him killed,
It's a hell other level.
it really makes you think about her.
Yeah.
Like all this art,
Mm.
fancy parties,
Yeah.
and behind it all, she's plotting to murder her son.
It's like something out of a movie.
It really is.
So tell me more about this hitman,
Oh, yeah.
this Rayon guy.
Camille Rayon.
Camille Rayon, right?
Camille Rayon, to be exact.
Wow.
He was a war hero. Decorated.
So like a respected guy,
Totally.
and he gets mixed up in this.
Dominica had a way of pulling people in,
I guess so.
but there's a twist.
Oh, there's always a twist with this woman. What is it?
Rayon didn't actually kill Paulo.
He didn't.
Nope.
Why not?
Well, the sources say he decided to save him instead
Wow.
and expose the whole plot.
Good for him.
It's like a little bit of good
Yeah,
in all this darkness.
definitely.
Like, even with all this pressure,
Yeah.
he still did the right thing.
I mean, it says a lot about Paulo, too,
Right.
that he survived all of this.
After everything Dominica put him through.
He's a survivor.
He is.
But wait, there's more family drama.
Of course there is.
It wouldn't be a Dominica story without it.
This time it's her brother,
Jean Lacaze.
Jean Lacaze.
Okay.
And he allegedly tries to frame Paulo
To do what?
to, like, invalidate his adoption
Why?
to protect Dominica.
Oh, so he's in on it, too.
Looks like it.
It's like they're all part of this crazy conspiracy.
I know. It's wild. And then, right in the middle of all this,
Yeah.
Dominica makes this huge deal with the French government.
What kind of deal?
She sells them 146 paintings,
From Guiom's collection.
the one and only.
Wow.
But she sells them for way less than they're worth.
Wait, why?
Well, some people think it was to avoid going to jail.
For the murder plots.
Exactly. Like a trade,
Art for freedom.
pretty much.
That's a heck of a deal.
It is. And it really makes you think about her motives.
Yeah.
Like, was she being generous?
Hmm.
Or was this just another way to protect herself?
I mean, the timing is suspicious.
Right. Like right after trying to have Paulo killed?
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
It really doesn't.
So what happens to the paintings?
Well, they end up in the Musée de l'Orangerie in Paris.
Oh, wow.
And they call it the Jean Walter and Paul Guiom collection.
So both husbands.
Both
Got
husbands.
it. Interesting.
It's like she's tying them all together,
Yeah.
herself included.
So she gets her name in the history books.
She does.
But like you said before,
Yeah.
maybe not for the right reasons.
It's a tough one.
It is.
Because on one hand, you have these amazing paintings
Masterpieces.
that people from all over come to see.
Yeah.
But then you have this really dark backstory.
With Dominica at the center of it all.
Exactly.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
can you separate the art from the artist?
Can you enjoy the beauty of it?
Knowing what you know about how it got there.
Right.
It's a question we all have to ask ourselves, I guess.
There's no easy answer,
Not at all.
but I think it's important to talk about it,
I agree.
to acknowledge the complexity,
Yeah.
because history is rarely black and white.
So true.
All right, so we've been talking about Dominica Guiom Walter, This woman who started as an art model
Right.
and ended up like a major player in the art world.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, suspicious deaths,
Yeah.
murder plots.
That's a draw.
And then she makes this deal with the French government,
Right.
giving them all those paintings from her husband's collection.
For a really good price.
Exactly.
And what I find so interesting is how she uses this deal
to like boost her own image.
Exactly. Like, think about it.
Oh.
The collection at the Musée de l'Orangerie.
The one in Paris.
Yeah.
It's named after both of her husbands.
It's the Jean Walter and Paul Guiom collection.
Right. Both of them.
It's like she's trying to connect herself to them.
To their legacies.
Yeah, to make it seem like they were all a team.
And to make her look good.
Totally. Like, look at me. I was married to these amazing men.
And I'm responsible for their art being here.
Exactly. She's controlling the story.
But it makes you wonder,
yeah,
did she actually care about them?
About her husbands.
Yeah, or were they just like tools for her?
To get what she wanted.
Power recognition. Hard to say. I mean, the sources we have say some affection there.
Especially with Jean Walter. But you also get the sense that Dominica, she was always thinking ahead.
Always planning her next move.
Like she was playing chess.
And everyone else was just a pawn.
And the art, that was part of the game, too.
It represented her status.
How far she'd come.
From nothing to the top of the art world.
But when she felt threatened, she would do anything to protect it.
The murder plots.
The deal with the government.
It's all connected.
She was ruthless.
But here's the thing. Even with all the darkness
surrounding Dominica,
the Musée de l'Orangerie.
Yeah?
It's still a beautiful place.
It is.
Filled with amazing art.
That people love.
And they might not even know.
About Dominica's story.
About all the stuff that happened behind the scenes.
It's like a reminder.
Of what?
That beauty can exist alongside darkness.
That even someone like Dominica
can create something good.
But it brings us back to that question.
The one we were talking about before.
Can you separate the art from the artist?
Can you enjoy the paintings?
Knowing what Dominica might have done.
To get them there.
It's tough.
There's no right answer.
It's a personal decision.
But I think the important thing
is to talk about it.
To not shy away from the hard questions.
But recognize that history is messy.
And that people are complicated.
Dominica's story. Yeah. It's a perfect example of that.
It's a story about ambition.
Scandal.
And art.
And it leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does.
So to all our listeners out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Into the life of Dominica Guiom Walter.
And keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep searching for the stories.
Behind the art.
Because there's always more to discover.
We'll see you next time.